Go ahead and admit that. Squidward may have a lot of other issues. Toxic masculinity is not one. You need to be in jail for this. You need to be in jail for this. But I personally think these two stories right here are worse than My Immortal and Anatar. We drag Anatar every time we can. Like, this story right here made me not even want to watch the show for a little bit because I was just that disturbed. My favorite genre is modern, contemporary. Nah, my favorite genre was fan fiction. I will say it loud and proud. Hey y'all, it's Harriyanna and I'm back with another video. If you're new here, hello, I am Harriyanna. And welcome to Harry Hook's pirate ship, the pirate ship. I am the captain. You are not my first mate. For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Harriyanna Hook. I like to make content based off of nostalgia, family, and children's entertainment, and all the issues that surround that. Now, I did have to take some time off from YouTube because I was just going through it with my cycles and everything like that. Maybe a little TMI, but yeah, we're grown. No, bodies function like this, y'all. But before we go any further, I would love to announce that today's video is sponsored by The Coldest Water. Also, my nails are not done. I apologize. But yes, The Coldest Water is a company that sells insulated water bottles, and I've desperately been needing one of these for the longest because of everything that's been going on with my health and whatnot, and have not been drinking enough water as I should because I don't want to keep wasting plastic and yada yada yada. But now that I have an insulated water bottle, I'm not going to have that issue, and it stays cold for up to 36 hours. Now, I had to go to acting class today, and we're in the freaking hot. Like, I live in Georgia. It's freaking hot outside. And, you know, because of COVID, we have to be outside for acting class now to make sure everyone's safe. And we were burning up, and it stayed cold the entire time. I kept filling it up throughout the night. I went to sleep, woke back up, it was still cold. So yes, y'all, I highly recommend this product. If you guys are interested in The Coldest Water, I will have my link for it down below. Y'all, stay hydrated. Because that's part of the reason why I was having such a bad week, because I was not drinking enough water. Now that we're done talking about something that isn't a hot mess, we're getting into the hot mess because, you can stay cool with the coldest water, but nothing will compare to the hot messiness that we are about to get into today. But before we get into that, you guys know what's coming. You guys know what's coming. Please go follow me on Instagram. Go follow the freaking Progenies on Instagram, please. It is my web series that we are currently in the process of casting and getting funded for, and we really, really need you guys' help on that. Yeah, we started crowdfunding. I will report more details about that later on my community page. And yes, please support me on Patreon, and please support me on Buy Me a Coffee. Literally any little bit helps. I'm very, very so appreciative of you guys, and I offer exclusive content over there on the Patreon. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'm looking at my notes right now, and I'm like, it's getting as weird as my other video at the moment. You guys saw I had so much fun doing my little Stan Twitter troll video, and I was like, I would love to do more videos about the weird unsolved mysteries of fandom internet. Like, fandom internet literally is my favorite section of the internet, but it's also the strangest, okay? Like, let's just say locals are not on fandom internet. If like half the people that live in my town do not be knowing about half the stuff I be talking about on this channel. I live for fandom internet, not local internet. Like, y'all lame, y'all boring. It gets weird over here. So I wanted to do more weird internet mystery type videos. If you guys have any weird fandom type mystery videos, please email them to me at inicole404@yahoo.com because I am obsessed with these stories. So as you guys know, fanfiction always goes wrong for some kind of way. I love the internet because it has given us the opportunities to do so many great things, but it also gives people the opportunity to do not so great things. And since it is Halloween time, I kind of want to make this like a year-round series thing where I just talk about weird internet fandom stories. But it is Halloween time. You see I got the cat ears on today. I wear these every day. But yeah, we're giving giving Claudine Wolf vibes today. I didn't even realize it because I got the blonde hair in the back. We're giving Claudine Wolf today, okay? Okay, Claudine, okay. If you guys have not noticed, I love fanfiction. I am a fanfiction fanatic. I'm sorry my nails are not done. This is really bothering me. I'm a fanfiction fanatic. My whole life revolves around fanfiction. I'm literally making a show that is a freaking fanfiction, okay? I don't care. I don't have no shame in it. Fanfiction is my favorite genre and you can't do nothing about it. If you got a problem with it, leave. I don't care. Y'all trying to be boring. What's your favorite genre? My favorite genre is sci-fi. Now, as you guys, people, just because I keep forgetting that a lot of people don't be knowing about the stuff I be talking about, I'm going to read you guys the internet definition of fan fiction because I know good and well if I describe my definition of fan fiction, you guys aren't going to get it. Fanfiction, coming from Google at the moment, is fiction written for a fan and featuring characters from a particular TV series, movie, etc. Yada yada yada. So it can range from book characters, it can range from celebrities, which I highly don't recommend anymore now that I'm grown and I realize how creepy that is. Movies, pretty much of anything, okay? The great thing about fanfiction, that is also the downside of fanfiction. Fanfiction honestly can make horrible stories great and great stories horrible. You see where I'm coming from? Now, with fanfiction, I have this weird fascination with horrible fanfiction. I literally dedicated an entire web series called Read It Bad Fanfiction where all I did was read bad fanfiction. And for those of you guys who keep asking about reading bad fanfiction, yes, it is coming back. I love doing reading bad fanfiction, but I'm thinking of making this season request only. I think this is just going to be request only instead of me looking out for the horrible stories to read. I'm going to have you guys send them. Now, fanfiction as we know it now is nothing about how it is then, because back then in the past, like I'd say probably 2005 or 2006, when before YouTube, fanfiction was most better known to being on fanfiction.net. I used to love being on fanfiction.net. I used to be on it all the time. But it just kind of faded away because fanfiction.net was annoying. They would delete stories for no reason. The most horrible stories got the most promotion, which is still an issue when it comes to fanfiction, by the way. It was just a lot of internet trolls on fanfiction.net. It just was not a good site overall. It was honestly really, really kind of ugly to look at. Not aesthetically pleasing whatsoever. Like I said, back in the day, we had fanfiction.net. Now we got Wattpad, AO3, and just Tumblr. Even YouTube, there's fanfiction over here now, okay? And I'm here for it. I'm finally glad that fanfiction is starting to become a little bit more acceptable for people and people finally don't see it as weird. But the reason people see it as weird is because of stupid stuff like this. Like we have After. Y'all know that After Roast was gonna come up in this video. Y'all know it. Y'all know I do not. I have no. Yeah, it's just annoying because what fanfiction is known to the public as, like we have 50 Shades of Grey. We have 365 Days, which I don't think it was a fan fiction, but everybody said it followed a lot of fan fiction formulas and tropes, so I throw that in there. We have After. We have The Kissing Booth, okay? It's just a lot of the stories that are fan fictions. Everybody sees them as horrible, but then I found out The Mortal Instruments was actually a fan fiction, and I was like, gotcha. But, yeah, fanfiction has a really, really bad rep, and it kind of deserves it because when you give people the power to do things such as taking characters that they love from a show and turn them to their own, you're bound to get somebody that's gonna mess it up for everybody. That's why I said the internet gives people more chances to do stupid things, and that's literally what has come up from these two stories. Like, these two stories literally were like some of the most disturbing things I've ever met. You guys have heard of My Immortal. My Immortal literally is said to be one of the worst fan fictions ever, okay? Because I think because My Immortal, it's like the person knew it was horrible, so they just kept trolling and going along with it, and then it just turned into this internet mystery that is still very unsolved. These stories were like very short, sweet, to the point. Not short, sweet, not sweet though. These stories were freaking disgusting. Like, I wanted to rip my eyes out with a fork when I was done reading these because I was just so appalled by what was on my screen. Like, I was like, I need to go delete my search history because I don't want people, like, if something happened to me and people needed to come find me and they went through my computer and they saw this was in there, they would be like, okay, You know what? Probably what happened to her, she deserved it. She deserved it. Like, fanfiction either can turn into good or popular stories. And I say good or popular because not everything good is popular, and not all the things that are popular are good. For example, Anna Todd's After, E.L. James' 50 Shades of Grey. Horrible stories that I don't recommend to anybody. We have stuff like that where After is actually very, very tolerable, barely tolerable compared to this. Then we get garbage like this. We will be talking about two fanfictions today. We will be talking about one called Salivation and one called The Death of Nick. Both very, very horrible names for both very, very horrible stories. But I think we're going to get to the one that I found the least disturbing first, which says a lot, because when y'all find out how disturbing this one is, you're probably going to wonder how disturbing the next one is going to be. Warning, we are going to be talking about racism, homophobia, and very, very odd sexual situations. So from this point on, viewer discretion is advised. I am so sorry. The reason I picked, because I went and just found a list of like the worst fanfictions ever made, but it's like a lot of stuff I wasn't really into technically. But these two stories stood out because I made a few videos about one of them, and I'm having a new video about one of them coming soon. You guys look out for that. And you know what? Actually, both of those are going to be in the new video. So yes, I have a new video coming soon about both of these shows. But yes, it is SpongeBob and Total Drama Island, or just Total Drama for short. Now, I adore SpongeBob. It's literally one of my favorite things ever. It is one of those shows that I watch where I just needed to get out of my lowest point of my life. SpongeBob is what I turn on. It helps me go to sleep at night. SpongeBob literally is that man. He is that person. He is there for me 24/7 throughout the day. If I'm sad, I'm gonna throw some SpongeBob on. But like, this story right here made me not even want to watch the show for a little bit because I was just that disturbed for a minute. Y'all see the stuff I do for y'all? I literally disturb my peace to bring you guys content. That's how y'all know I rock with y'all. That's how y'all know I rock with y'all. Now, the SpongeBob story is called Salivation. It literally isn't even a story. It's just a racist, homophobic rant. Because this story was so ignorant, it was removed from fanfiction.net, where they actually did something right for once. For once, fanfiction.net did something correct. Now, Salivation I can't even read the name of the author's name because it took me a minute to realize what it meant, because I was like, But yes, this person's account was removed from fanfiction.net, and nobody actually knows when this story was posted, because a part of me is starting to believe that the story actually wasn't true. That's like a mystery that I'm having, that somebody just made up this lie about this being a really, really terrible fanfiction. But I don't know, we'll see. But before the story was removed, it was deemed as the worst fanfiction ever made, and I was just like, was this made before My Immortal or after? And this was just like a close second, or people called it the worst story ever made, is because they actually finished it. Yes, it is called the worst fanfiction ever made due to poor spelling, grammar, and the overall theme of being racist. Now, I kind of hate the fact that they just left out the homophobic part, because it was just as homophobic as it is racist. And both are terrible. Both are extremely terrible. And the story is not even really a story. It's just an author's notes. I honestly cannot stand author's notes and stories. I try to keep them away from my stories as much as possible, because a lot of author's notes is just be the author talking about them lives, and it don't have nothing to do with the story. And that is exactly what Salivation is. It is just the person talking their bigotry. It's horrible. And then it says it's followed by 3 lines that are the actual story, when it's really not. They literally just put the SpongeBob universe and characters into his racist rant. Like, because he called Squidward the F word. For why? And I honestly got really, really angry when I saw he called Squidward the F word, because Squidward, one thing he does not have is toxic masculinity. Yes, go ahead and admit that. Squidward may have a lot of other issues. Toxic masculinity is not one. I can rock with Squidward because of that. I do. That's why I got really, really angry, because it took me a minute to, when I was reading it, and I was like, why would he call Squidward that? And I was like, speaking of that, the only 2 characters in this story are SpongeBob and Squidward. Like I said earlier, nobody knows when this was published, and it is also rated K. And K means for everybody when it comes to fanfiction.net, rated K. Is it like rated K for like kindergarten? K for kids. K for kids. There is this big debate about if the story is actually called Salivation or Salvation. Who knows? He probably misspelled it wrong. I wouldn't be surprised because he's pretty stupid in the head. So, yeah. The genre is spiritual and angst because he does mention Jesus Christ a few times in the story. Yeah, angst is there. Yeah, angst, because all he is angry the entire time. But spiritual, that's when I'm just like, do not bring God into this. Like, what did he do? Aside from it just being a racist, homophobic rant, like, I'm not really, like, there's nothing, like, if I tell y'all, yeah, y'all not gonna get anything out of it. He can't spell at all. Like, what even is this story? Like, I hate the fact that this is horrible. Now, fanfiction is terrible. I'm gonna read to you guys exactly what this person put word for word. This is actually a review from the story right here on Fanfiction Critic, and he said this story started out with her in fetal position on her bed, absolutely refusing to read and review the story. Despite this, she gets to review it, and 10 minutes later, and obviously unimpressed about it. As she reads the story, she gets repeatedly agitated about the immersed spelling and grammar errors and the overall atrocious racist theme. Yeah, basically that. And one thing that really bothered me about the story is that this is just like a big issue, and I'm not trying to get all religious on y'all and whatnot, but I'm tired of people trying to use God or astrology or anything that you use to follow to spread hate. I am so sick of it, and that's literally what the author of Salivation was doing, and I am so glad this person's account was removed. And whoever this person is that wrote this, I really hope that they're just not a horrible person, because I don't want to be in the same room with the person that wrote this mess. I really hope they found themselves. I hope they went on a journey of self-discovery or something, because this is just pitiful. What is wrong with you? Like, you really thought you could get away with this? Like, no. Moving on from Salivation, we are going to total drama. The Death of Nick. The Death of Nick, I actually had a bit more fun reading The Death of Nick. I consider it to actually be worse than Salivation because I actually understood what was going on. That's why I kind of considered it worse. Like, Salivation was like horrible avant-garde type work, whilst this is just horrible. This is just a horrible story altogether. That was just avant-garde. I don't think it was supposed to make sense. Now, The Death of Nick was published in 2010. So yeah, we actually do have a date for this, and this actually was when total drama was like at its peak in popularity. So yeah, I never really been big on total drama fanfiction. Like, I've read like a few in the past, but never really just, I don't know, I never really cared to see the characters in another universe, because I should read total drama fanfiction, like I said, because they did so horrible with a lot of those characters. But yes, The Death of Nick is actually rated M, so yeah. They got the rating right on that one. It was published on June 6, 2020. Not 2020, 2010. The Death of Nick is 10 years old. Fanfiction is 10 years old. That is so scary to think about. Ew. The genre of the story is hurt, comfort, and tragedy, which I will say is true. It does apply to that. And yes, if you actually go on, like, his fanfiction.net profile is still up. And while I was reading through it, it actually seems like he just really had a big thing for Gwen, and that's why he wrote this story. He wrote this story as a self-insert, so where he can do the nasty with Gwen. Yeah. That's literally exactly what the story is. He dies, comes back to life, has sex with Gwen, dies again. Like, literally, what even is this? The author is said to be 9 years old, but 16 to 17 in some of your stories. Do we need to call Chris Hansen? Do we need to call Child Protective Services? Because I'm very concerned about why a 9-year-old kid would be writing something like this. Like, what is this child looking at? Part of me feels like he's not 9, but a part of me kind of believes that he is 9, because Total Drama was really popular with 9-year-olds back then. I was a 9-year-old and I loved Total Drama. Now, I already knew something was wrong with this Nick dude when I saw he shipped Duncan and Bridget. And y'all know how I feel about Duncan. I didn't want him anywhere near Bridget. Duncan deserves nothing, in my opinion. Yes, I'm that Total Drama fan that doesn't like Duncan. He shipped Isabella and Phineas. He shipped Noah and Cody. He shipped Candace and Jeremy. Candace and Jeremy were annoying. Like, I liked them better before they got together. He shipped Gwen and Nick. Who is him? He put his ship all the way at the top for couples that he likes. All of my friends look at Total Drama Island stories, even XOX Gwen. I decided to make Nick X Gwen because 19 people asked me to do it. Didn't nobody ask you to do that. You doing it to do it yourself, so you did it yourself. Go ahead and admit that. So I didn't do any of these stories on purpose. He put the F word in here. Friends are the ones to blame. Friends at USA. This story is so dated. And the thing about it is that the death of Nick is still up. Trent murders Nick and kills him. Nick goes back to life in the past where he has lost his virginity to a... I'm not saying that out loud. I am not saying that out loud because I know good and well if I say that, YouTube is going to take this video down. No. No. I am on the weaker side of the internet. And to this day, he updated it saying Chappie 2 is going to come quick, and Chappie 2 never came out. So, yeah, nobody knows who this Nick guy is. It is gone, and it's... I always love reading the reception of really, really horrible stories. One user said he felt absolutely disgusted from reading the story and complained that it needed a stronger warning than sexual content. And I strongly agree. This stuff was beyond like just sexual content and sex scenes like that. It was just borderline. Like, you need to be in jail for this. You need to be in jail for this. Another user said, calls the story and its author a disgrace to fanfiction and fanfiction writers everywhere. He sure is. We don't own Nick Spaz 17. We don't, because literally nobody should be writing content like this. I understand that art is made. We write about things that happen, yada, yada, yada. But this right here is just completely disgusting. Another user said he called it that absolutely effing failure in art and English language and literature altogether. And the last user said, compared to the sex scenes in both and another one of the worst fan fictions, My Immortal, and compared this story to any of the Agent Matt's own stories. I think Death of Nick is worse than My Immortal, because My Immortal, you legit couldn't take My Immortal seriously. But this story makes you sit down and think, like, who in their right mind would think of something like this? Like, go seek help. Go seek help, Nick. And this person's account has been inactive for 10 years now, since June 6, 2020. Like, I am very disgusted. And my problem with, like I said in my last internet troll videos, people come on the internet to put on a fake persona and put on a mask to try to be a completely different person, or they come over here to show their true colors of people. Now, I genuinely think both of these people were struggling in their real life, and they came online and saw fanfiction as a way to deal with their issues. But you don't deal with your issues with bigotry. I'm so sorry. It does not work that way. I really hope these two people have found peace, because you guys know I don't like wishing bad on people. Most people. I'm doing better though. I'm still growing as a person. It's just, I don't even know what to say about these two stories, because yeah, I'm completely disturbed, and I'm so sorry if this disturbs you. I love watching videos about horrible fanfiction, and I enjoy making them. I enjoy this series that I'm doing on my channel. You guys know of any other weird fandom, like, fandom mess, send it to me. I will be here to talk about it. Thank you guys for watching this video so much. I love you guys so much for everything. Don't forget to hit that link in the bio for the coldest water if you are interested in this product. I highly do recommend this product, like, because I hate warm water so bad. If you want to see more of me, please go follow me on Instagram and on Tumblr. But yeah, that is pretty much all for today's video. I love you guys so much. Please take care. Make sure you're staying safe. Please be taking care of yourselves, because, you know, winter is coming up and Rona ain't going nowhere. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for watching, and goodbye.